You're listening to the Storm Report, your weekly insight into the Manchester Storm, brought to you by Storm TV's Maddie Finnegan.
Hello everyone, this is episode 11 of the Storm Report podcast, your exclusive and official podcast with the Manchester Storm. Welcome back to all the Storm fans, hope you're well, and welcome to the Panthers fans for the first time. Nottingham Panthers fans, there's a lot in store for this episode, as later on, Joe and I are joined by Gino Esteves of the Manchester Storm and the Panthers' very own Reid Stefanson to talk all things about their relationship, both as former teammates and now on the enemy lines. Before we get to all of that, though, Storm fans, we have a special treat for you to start this podcast. As for his second appearance on the Storm Report, we have your very own general manager and owner, Ryan Finnerty. We have a lot to discuss, but first of all, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Maddie?
I'm good. It's good to be here. Good to be joined by you. We have a lot of questions to get through, and I think the most pressing one that I want to start off with is something that a lot of Storm fans will be wanting to know kind of a little bit more about. And that's the recent announcement of the departure of Connor Lee. Well, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the Connor situation. Obviously, when we signed him, we kind of had a pathway to get him over to Canada. And for a lot of our listeners that may not quite understand how it works over there, what the goal would be, it's similar to Alex Graham did it, Kirky did it, is to get drafted in what is called the Central Hockey League import draft, or Canadian Hockey League import draft, sorry, the CHL draft. Now that would allow Connor, for Connor to play major junior, he needs to be drafted as an import player. He can't just show up and try out. So what we found was, obviously he's got the skill set, the size, the speed. He's got everything that you can't teach. And as the season progressed, we hooked Connor up with an agent over there, someone who specializes in kids 16 to 20, and specializes in finding good junior programs. Not only just a junior program that would take him, but a junior program that would fit Connor. And we've been doing this now for a few years, and it just got to a point, early on in the season where they really wanted to see what Connor was like against kids his own age, and an opportunity in Penticton in the BCHL, which is a premier franchise. They're number one in that league. They've won numerous cups over the year. Arguably, a top 3 organization in all of Canada at that level. And that's the highest level Connor could play in Canada at this time. So they wanted to have a look at him and just see what he would look like against his against kids his own age. Again, this bracket is 16 to 20 is that age bracket. So even Connor at 17, still relatively young, but it is his import draft year. So we wanted to get the right eyes on him and, again, put Connor in the right situation. It sucks from a Manchester Storm point of view, but it's also the commitment that we made to him. We always thought maybe it was going to be at the end of this year, but it came a few months early, and we when we got the call, we welcomed with open arms. We made sure that the business end of us is that we secure Connor. If and when he comes back, he'll be a Manchester Storm player, and we saw the likes of Liam Kirk and what that can do for his development side, and we think we're hoping and praying that that'll happen for Connor as well, that he can really take off over there. So it's a really exciting time, big challenge for Connor, big challenge for the family. He's picking up at 17 and moving across. It's everything that every player playing in our league is done. You can do it. There's kids playing as young as 15 to 20. Playing across and living in different billet families, they call it. So it's a really cool opportunity. I know all the guys in the room are really excited. I think he had a million questions, before he left, and had kind of a circle around him of guys, reliving their experiences. And so it's cool. I think it's something that British hockey, I think, as much as we want to develop and our own, there are definitely better pathways as well. So we're working on getting a better system for us. There's better pathways, and this is a great opportunity for British kids to really showcase what we have over here.
Connor has an abundance of talent, and it's very exciting to kind of see his story continue to unravel. And I'm sure I speak for everyone associated with the Storm when I wish him the best of luck over there in Canada. That if you want to know a little bit more about that story, we have a documentary coming out in the not too distant future on this whole topic. It's quite fitting that when that's ready to come out, there's been a bit of a development with this story. So best of luck to Connor, and keep an eye out on all the social media for when the Connor Lee documentary drops in a couple weeks. All very exciting there. We're going to do a bit of an abrupt switch, and we're going to now talk about the current form of the Manchester Storm, because there's been a bit of a slump at the minute in terms of form. We're on a 4-game losing streak, and we're struggling with special teams. And I wanted to get your kind of expert opinion. You've been on the bench, and now you're in a bit of a higher up managerial role. In your opinion, what will it take for the guys in the room to break that losing streak?
Well, I think obviously I thought our performance in Belfast was much improved, albeit the first period, which again, special teams, it's really easy to pinpoint where we're struggling right now, and special teams is at the top of the list, and that's been a focus. I know of Mike's for a few weeks now. It's been a focus when their transition period, and it's it's not something that fixes itself overnight. Obviously, it's definitely something that we're seeing we're working on way more. But again, it's 5 guys out there, that either want to, compete on the power play, or 4 guys that want to compete the 5 on the penalty kill. And right now we got to start doing, a lot more little things, blocking shots, being in good lanes, attention to detail. You got to be, whether you're on the power play or PK, it's probably the most engaged you need to be, to have success. So right now it's, you start to get a couple kills and build some confidence like anything, and it can snowball from there. And we just need to kind of find a way to turn that tide. And I know that's a big focus of the group right now, and Mike moving forward. Our 5-on-5 play we're happy with. It's the things that we can control that we certainly need to get better on. And you look back over the season of how many 1-goal losses that either your PK could have been stronger, your power play could have been better. Could turn that into a point or 2 points if you go to overtime. So yeah, we're looking at it holistically. Like we liked our game against Cardiff. I think we replayed that game another 9-10 times. We win it almost every time. I thought we were fantastic. They got a couple fortunate goals at key times. Hated the game in Coventry, and then obviously the disaster in Fife. It just completely unacceptable. It's really hard to put into words what happened in the third. And then, like I said, I thought the competing character the guy showed in Belfast again, inches away from tying that game and going to overtime, and in a tough rink, and a tough travel day when you play the night before and then you're up early for a 4 p.m. start. It's a quick day, a quick turnaround. So yeah, it's these things happen in hockey. Again, you look at teams that go through slumps, and you can run into a tough part of your schedule where potentially you're looking at Cardiff, Sheffield, Nottingham, and Belfast, and you got to find ways to squeak points. You got to find ways to stay in these kind of games and go after them, especially when you're on the road. So it's like anything. It's a confidence thing. It's the guys gotta believe that this team, and I know they do, are capable of winning on any night in any rink, and we got to get back to that, a little bit of that swagger and cockiness, and go after it. We're in a dogfight. It seems every year we're in a dogfight for one reason or another. But right now we're still in control of everything, of our destiny. We've got games at hand. Teams are gonna go on streaks. Teams are gonna go on runs. But at the end of the day, we just got to kind of focus on the next game, worry about our performance, and start grinding out some results. But saying that, at the same time, the crowd has been incredible. I mean, the attendance wise, it's so great to see so many new faces and have taken up the sport in the greater Manchester area. And at the same time, now it's a lot more pressure on us to perform, to send those people happy, the old and the old fans and the new ones coming through the door. So it's never fun when you're on a losing streak, but at the same time, I think it's an opportunity for change. It's an opportunity for kind of new heroes to step up, and that's what we're looking for in our dressing room. Is we have our leadership group, we have everything there, but we're looking for guys to get to pull us out of this mess. And we got a huge challenge up. Away Sheffield, home Nottingham. 2 fantastic teams right now, both playing really well. So it's going to be a big challenge this weekend.
Those big characters that always kind of step up and kind of help the team out. We have a lot of them in the dressing room at the minute, one of them being Evan Wenninger. And for those that were able to either buy the stream or those that traveled to the game themselves in Belfast, you would realize that Wenninger had to be kind of subbed out during the game at Belfast. Are there any club updates on what's going on with Wenninger? How's his condition?
Yeah, I mean, this is now we're Tuesday now, so right now we're not putting a time frame on him. He could be a week, he could be two, he could be a month. We don't know with the extent of his injury at this stage. So we're arguably one of the best physios. We got a great doctor. He's in great hands right now, and we're sort of day to day just seeing where he's at, and then we will probably address it later on when we have a clear picture of kind of where Evan's at. But right now it's very much kind of touch and go, and every day we'll see where he gets to, and but I don't think anybody's put a time frame on it right now. He certainly won't be playing this weekend.
Best of wishes to Evan, and everyone hopes that he gets well as soon as possible because we miss him out there in the crease. But that kind of leaves a bit of a vacancy, doesn't it? Well, what can you tell us about the hole that's being left by Wenninger when he's out? What's being done to address that?
Obviously, Alex Oldale, always does a great job when he gets called upon. He's a huge part of our club. And then we when that happened in Belfast, obviously we got to work and do what our job is to patch any holes and give this club an opportunity to win at all costs. And we've gone out and we've signed a goalie. Goalie we've been back and forth with for a little bit, looking at him. He's a kid that's from out west. A good friend of mine was his coach in Major Junior, same league that we're trying to get Connor in. And in Vancouver, took him a Memorial Cup, Arizona draft pick. He signed a contract with Arizona, and then he's kind of battled through injuries and whatnot the last few years. But we feel like he's a kid given the opportunity could really shine. And we signed a kid named David Tendek out of Florida in the East Coast League.
That's very exciting. Everyone knows the quality that you have with Alex Oldale, and he performed very well when he was called upon in Belfast. But it's always exciting to have a new player to kind of obsess over and figure out. Everyone's going to be going on to his elite prospects page and everything now, trying to be their own sort of hockey scout and find out what we've got with him. What impresses you the most about him, though, from like a general manager and almost like a scouting perspective? What stood out to him? Why have we brought him in specifically?
Obviously, when you start this year, there's not there's not a lot available, and you really got to look at the coast because of the system there with the NHL American League and East Coast League. A lot of these NHL teams have 6 guys signed or more, so they get dotted around. So when you have a free agent goalie, it's never easy to get time in the East Coast League. They got to play. The contract guys have to play. They got to play through good and bad times. They got to work it out. So a lot of guys, like when you come off your NHL deal and you're a free agent, a lot of guys struggle to find time in the net, and then you never really get a consistent run. You get kind of moved around when NHL teams shuffle the pack down and send goalies across, or if there's trades. So it's never an easy play, which is why you see a lot of these guys come to Europe. And David's been battling, and obviously he's been in Florida. Just they've won the championship the last, I think, 3 years in a row. Heavy affiliates there. He's been playing alongside a lot of contract goalies, young goalies. So I think it was just time for him to get an opportunity where he can have his own net and get a consistent run of games to show the form that he had back in when he was drafted and back when he signed that contract. So that's sort of where we really liked him. We felt that he's a kid that has sort of been waiting his time. He's been a great teammate alongside working with these young guys, and now he's going to get an opportunity in Europe to showcase what he can do. And like I said, we're excited to bring him in. We've been dealing with it for a little bit now, and we should, we're all being well. He'll fly in on Thursday and ready to go on the weekend.
So that means that by the time everyone is listening to this podcast, he should already have integrated himself with the squad, and everyone will be ready and raring to go for this weekend. It is very exciting, but as you say, it is a tough weekend ahead. We've got some tough games against some challenging opponents, and I wanted to get your kind of final thoughts as we wrap things up here. What words do you have for the team, but most importantly, the fans going into this weekend?
I mean, obviously, from a team aspect, it's we've continued to show what kind of group we can be. It's just finding that consistency and doing it for 60 minutes, 65 minutes a night. I think we have the horses in there. We like our team. We don't feel we're a ninth place team. Um, we have areas that we clearly can identify where we can improve on. But overall, our 5-on-5 play, from the goal line out, we like the group that we have, and we just feel like we need to get on a run. And like I said, we went into a tough building in Belfast. We're inches away from getting some out of there. Sheffield's again. We played okay in Sheffield, and at some point you just go right after guys. You don't show any respect, and you just show up and you're ready to grind and ready to compete, and then that's what this team needs to do. This is kind of playoff hockey now in the UK. We don't have the long drawn out playoffs like you do in North America. It starts here. It starts right now. Our playoff hockey is every game we're fighting for 2 points for our survival, and that's the way we got to have it. So it's kind of the attitude that we need to have is that going forward, and that's what we're expecting to see. And that's the message in the room is, I know, we're done. We don't have any more. There's no more fifes. There's no more free outs. There's no more. We can't afford to give away anything right now. We got to start. We got to start playing some pissed off hockey, and that's the message that we want our guys to have. And then like you said, from the fans' point, I mean, you can't really say much more. They've done their job. They've shown up. They're loud. They've made an incredible atmosphere to play all season long. We're so grateful for all our old fans and our new fans, and they stand by us, stick by us, and we got to reward them. We got to come ready to go, and we got to battle and compete. And everything that they love hard nosed hockey. They like to see team, guys blocking shots and taking hits to make plays and being physical, and that's what our fan base love. That pucks to the net and grinding and rebounds, all that kind of stuff. That's what this team's built on for almost a decade. And playing in our little rink needs to be a fortress right now. And that's the thing. We got to come ready and hungry to get 2 points and be willing to do whatever it takes to get it.
You Storm fans support the team through thick and thin, and it's definitely about time that the guys on the ice reward you for that and get back to winning ways. But that'll do it for my chat with Ryan Finnerty. I'd like to thank you so much, Ryan, for your time. It's been a great chat, and it sounds like loads to be excited about.
Yeah, you bet, man. Thanks, Matty. Keep doing your thing, buddy. It sounds good.
Thank you so much. For the rest of you guys still listening on, we do have an exciting bit of stuff to be talking about a little bit later. I'm going to be joined by Joe. We're going to have that Cup of Joe segment that I know is a fan favorite at this point. And then for you Panthers fans, stick around because we'll be chatting to Gino Esteves and Reid Stefanson in just a moment. Before we get into this episode's player interview, I wanted to take a moment to thank all of you that have already given us some support or feedback on the episodes we've put out so far. At Storm TV, we want this podcast to be the best it can possibly be, bringing you fresh insight and behind-the-scenes access to the Manchester Storm every week. And we can only do that with your feedback. So if you're enjoying the show, why not give it a thumbs up, a review, or leave us a comment letting us know how you feel. Thank you so much to those that have already done that, and let's get back to the podcast. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed that little chat with Storm's owner and general manager, Ryan Finnerty. There's lots to be excited for and looking forward to in the near future, but we're just getting started on this episode. Panthers fans, there's a reason why you were told to be here and to listen to this today. And Storm fans, you also have a new guest to the show to look forward to as well. But first of all, I want to say another welcome back to Joe Morrow. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Another day on the podcast. We can get some good information out there. So let's keep it rolling.
I'm looking forward to this one because we get to kind of explore a new fan base as well with the Nottingham Panthers. We're going to be doing that through Reid Stefanson. Reid, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, no worries. And I believe you have a pretty good pre-existing relationship with Storm's own Gino Esteves. I'll let you kind of tell me about that. But first of all, Gino, it's your first time on the Storm podcast. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So if my note taken, if my research is correct, you guys kind of met each other playing AAA hockey all the way in Manitoba, Canada. Where did that kind of take me back to the beginning, Gino? What was that like?
Yeah, we met. I guess the first team we played for was, I think, 10 years old, Cinnamon Park Rangers. We actually won a championship our first year together. Yeah, looking back. Yeah, we won the city championship. So, and then after that, I think we played together for about 9 or 10 years on the same team. It was pretty crazy. Everyone kind of kept leaving, and me and Reid just kind of stayed right beside each other.
Sound like a bit of a winning formula. AAA hockey is an interesting kind of like junior development, and it's something that even myself it's difficult to comprehend as a Brit because we don't really have an equivalent for it out there. So I guess in like a simple explanation, Reid, if you can, talk to me about AAA hockey, AA hockey, like that kind of progression as a kid over there in Canada.
Yeah, to be honest, it might have even changed since we went through it. But originally, when we first started playing together, it was double A. And then you spend basically 2 years of doing that when you're like 10 and 11, I think it is. And then when you change to it might be 12 or 13, that's when hitting started when we were going into it. And that's when AAA started, I think. So I think, yeah, for the most part, it's just another way to differentiate between age groups, and we played all of that together, which was pretty fun.
So just so the fans know, how many teams per double A would you have in Manitoba that you would play against? Kind of within your city parameters, how many teams do you think there were?
For double A, I think there was about maybe 8.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of teams just outside of Winnipeg too. So you have to travel a little bit, but it was never really too much. And then as you get older, teams kind of come together. So like teams in the area will come together as one team to make it stronger and kind of eliminate, I guess, the weaker players. And that kind of happens as you go up with age.
Right. So it just kind of shows the quantity of hockey that's available in Canada that hopefully we can start to branch into the UK here as well too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully, that would be the aim. Is that kind of similar to what it was like for you in Alberta, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hockey is so popular there that everybody has the opportunity to play. Everybody has, whether it's a triple A team, a double A team, a single A team, based on your skill level, that's essentially where you get placed. But again, every city has at least 2 to 3 teams. You travel around, you play everybody else. It's just a way of life. It's like a religion out there.
So, Reid, I want to ask you a little bit more about your kind of early memories of hockey because it's great to have you on, and I think the Panthers fans will be really interested in this. Take me back to that winning season, your guys' first season together, and maybe some of your core memories from that. Maybe a first goal, first assist, something from that like not many people would know about but yourself.
Yeah, I think one of the core memories would have been in playoffs. We were down in an elimination game, and then I think we ended up scoring Gino. If I'm correct, it was like 4.8 seconds left to tie it.
Yeah.
So,
the other guy like turned it over right behind the net, popped out front. Crazy. I remember that.
And even like the number 4.8 seconds that stuck with me, and that's been since that was when we were like 10 or 11, which is pretty crazy. And then I know for me personally, ended up scoring the overtime winner and was just went bananas. And then we ended up winning the next game, and that was how we won the championship. So it was exciting.
Overtime winners. That's probably about as good as memories can get from childhood. You guys kind of then, as you realize, hey, I've got a bit of talent here and see where you can take it. You guys both kind of went your separate ways, going to college or uni, whatever you guys decided to call it, and then going into your different East Coast teams as well. Gino, did you guys kind of like keep in touch, or was there a period where you kind of, oh yeah, I remember him next time you faced up against each other in the East Coast?
No, we've always kept in touch kind of through the whole path. Like throughout the summer, we skate together, play golf together, kind of hang out here and there. So we're definitely around each other a lot when we're not playing hockey. But we didn't really play each other at all in college, unfortunately. Never really played each other in the coast. We were in the same league, but we kind of just never crossed paths. And finally, this year was the first year we actually kind of get to play against each other. So it's been fun playing against Reid for the first time.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question because you guys kind of it's interesting how much if you look on something like Elite Prospects, I know a lot of hockey fans like to do. You guys, your career has like mirrored each other so perfectly. You both chose to go to Europe around the same time, and then to make it even more, I guess, similar, you guys both chose to come to the Elite League in the same season. One going to Manchester, that'll get a lot of cheers. One going to Nottingham, maybe less so if you're in the Storm Shelter, but. I want to know from you, Reid, was it coordinated? Did you guys say, oh, let's give this a go? Or was it just a coincidence you guys both went to the same league?
I mean, I would say yes and no. Like, I mean, obviously, like Gino said, we skate together in the summer and we hang out, and we had different conversations about how we enjoyed previous leagues, whether it was in North America or when we came over to Europe. And then we both had our eyes a little bit set on this league, just knowing English speaking would be easy to assimilate to, just a lot of the pros that come with it. So I think we signed within like weeks of each other too, and so maybe that part was a little bit of a coincidence, but we definitely had talked about it together.
What was that kind of first moment like when you realized that, oh, hang on a minute, I've signed to play here and Gino signed to play there. This is going to be the first time that we play against each other. What were the thoughts running through your head?
I mean, it was strange because we had played all those years together, so it was like, and then I hadn't seen him play for in games for a number of years that we didn't cross paths, and we're even in the summer leagues, we're usually on the same team, so it's definitely a little bit different, but it was a lot of fun at the same time.
So now we've been over to the Motor Point in Nottingham, and you've been over to the Storm Shelter a fair few times, as we are halfway through the season now at this point. And you've kind of had that chance to play against each other, maybe be on a face-off versus one another, or just have those kind of moments. And now that you know what that's like, and you've kind of got a buddy that you're playing against, I'm going to ask Gino a similar question to the one we asked in last week's episode. We had Lauren Yilla and Austin Farley of the Five Flyers on. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, definitely do. It was a really good time. And I asked them both, if you two, Reid and Gino, are skating towards a loose puck, maybe the end wall or one of the boards, and there's a chance that you might end up have to come together to kind of separate man from puck. Do you pull the punches at all? Do you kind of loosen up, or do you just go straight through them? Like, is there some sort of competitive edge there, or are you guys kind of going nice on your friends?
It's definitely a competitive edge. I'd say even in the summer, me and Reid kind of go at it pretty hard since we're kind of some of the older guys in our summer skate. So yeah, in the season, you definitely don't pull up because you don't want to lose to the guy, and then he kind of has that over you after the game or later on in the summer or something. So you definitely don't pull up, but you also don't want to hurt him. So it's a good balance of roughing him up, but not killing him.
It's a similar response to what Yolette said. It was like, I'll kind of see how the first one goes, and if they get by me, I'll make sure that they know about it next time. Is that the same for you, Reid? Would you expect Gino to come in pretty hard on you?
Yeah, I would say it's the same thing. I think it's like Gino said, it's not like, I mean, you're never going to be doing anything dirty to anyone else, but you might have a little bit more of a realization, like just trying not to hurt the guy, I guess. But at the same time, you definitely want to win whatever the puck battle is, or get the puck, or even like passing it by the guy or something. There's always a chuckle. I know we've played against each other a couple times. It's hard not to just like chuckle as we pass each other and have a little laugh.
I can
Yeah.
agree with that too. It's such a unique feeling. I think you get different personalities from players and guys that play with each other so long in a minor hockey league setting, grow up with each other. You either have the goofiest relationship where you literally can't even look at each other on the ice. It's just a joke and you can't make it through a shift, or you have guys that, like, for lack of better words, you actually just beat the crap out of each other all day long. And I've seen both sides of it. I've played with guys at at the minor hockey league level that once you get into a battle with them, it turns dirty somehow, but you're best friends and you just cross check and you're slashing them and it makes no sense. And I've also gone into a corner with guys that I can't make it out of the corner. I'm like crying. I'm laughing so hard. It makes no sense. It's like, how did we make it here? We were playing mini sticks in the hallways, dreaming we were going to play for the Edmonton Oilers or something together. And now we're just in the corner and different teams running into each other like a bunch of idiots. So I think the more successful way to do it is how you guys do it. You battle each other hard in the summer, and when it comes down to it, you battle each other hard when you're on opposing teams too.
It's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
definitely always funny when you're kind of in a scrum in front of the net and then you feel this glove on your face. You turn around and then Rito's face is looking at me like, you're not going to do anything, buddy. And then he kind of drags you out of the fight. Like, all right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, I think that happened earlier in the year
Yeah.
too, when we both looked at each other and we're like, "Yeah, you're not that guy. You're not that guy."
Yeah, I remember that.
Sort of a bragging rights kind of thing, I guess, when you guys end up coming together when you play those games, and there'll be bragging rights available this weekend. I'll kind of get to the business end of the interview now, because you two play each other this weekend in the Storm Shelter on Sunday. There's a couple of games to go in between for both teams before we get to that point. But Reid, talk to me about this weekend's game then. You've been to the Storm Shelter a couple of times by now, I would imagine. What's that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, clearly a unique arena, and one that I'm sure a majority of opposing players don't enjoy going into. It seems like you guys are able to utilize that in your advantage, which totally makes sense. I know for us, it's always one of those games that we just try to keep things simple because there's obviously not a lot of room in there. But yeah, still looking forward to it. Looking forward to going up against Gino again, and I know Harry from back home, and then Heine from playing pro with them too. So it's always fun playing against you guys.
There'll be a couple of battles out there that I'm sure are more personal than some of them, than some others, I should say. But more analytically, without giving too much away, I know you'll get in trouble if you do that. But when you come into this rink, what do you guys try and do? You say keep it short, keep it simple, but you see that Storm's on the calendar. There's an away trip to Manchester. What goes through your minds? How do you prepare to face a team like the Manchester Storm?
I mean, I feel like it's a cliche thing, but you want to prepare the same way whoever you're playing, whatever rink you're in. It's just one of those things where stuff happens so fast in that rink that you got to make sure that you're making smart puck decisions. You always want to, but you don't really get away with it. You get away with it on our ice or bigger ice surfaces a little bit more when you can kind of correct your mistakes. But there, when stuff happens so fast, it's hard to do that. And then another big thing is just another cliche, I guess, but putting pucks on net, like it's so small, you can shoot from the red line, which in most cases is the blue line other places, and like the corner. No, there's no bad shot there. So try to filter pucks and hope that something squeaks in every now and then.
It really is a unique rink to play in, and there's lots of different things that can make it really your friend, and it can really be something that really kicks you in the backside afterwards. One of those things being the Zamboni doors. There's lots of different kind of parts of the rink that can really bite you if you're not careful. And I'm going to ask kind of the flip question to you, Joe. You've been here long enough now where you can kind of, you know what to expect from the rink. How do you kind of put that to the Storm's advantage?
Yeah, as much as I'd love to say you can expect a certain way or a certain bounce to happen in that rink, I feel like I've shot the puck off the boards 100 times and I've gotten 102 different bounces. So it's like it's just a different beast. I think that our game plan always going into things is that we practice on that ice, we play on that ice. The other team has to play on that ice also. So the excuse part of it has to just go out the door. It's just a different setting, but I think our team just tries to utilize it to the advantage, and we try to run and gun and play the way that we should play. But currently it's not working too good in our favor right now, and we need to change that immediately. But I think other teams coming in, like it's been portrayed twice now, they understand what they need to do, and I think that we just need to utilize our building a little more to our advantage.
Speaking of utilizing advantages that you might have, I'll talk about a potential disadvantage in the obvious kind of scheduling factor that Nottingham play 3 games this week. By the time that we're recording this, Reid, you've already played your Challenge Cup game against Glasgow. Congratulations on the win. But that's just one of your 3 games. You have 2 games this weekend on a Friday and a Sunday, whereas we just have the 2 on the normal back-to-back, kind of your regular scheduled hockey over here in the Elite League. Is that any sort of, not that you make excuses, but is that any sort of thing in the back of your mind that by the time you get to maybe period 3 on the Sunday, you might be a little bit more knackered than the team across from you?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think for us too, like I think we were saying last week, like 5 and 8 days, which is more of a East Coast League schedule that we might be accustomed to. So, you know what, maybe guys are used to it at this point in the career, but yeah, there's certainly fatigue that goes into it right now. We've been fortunate with having a healthy lineup, so we've been able to disperse minutes well, I think, and that's worked to our advantage with a lot of games in a short amount of time here. But yeah, just try to keep things simple and smaller rink, so don't have to skate as far. Maybe the fatigue won't catch up to us.
Maybe so, maybe so. Storm also have more than just the 1 game against Nottingham this week, and it's a pretty big deal of a game as well. We travel away to Sheffield. That's a big rivalry game. The fans really turn up and care about that one. And I wanted to kind of ask Gino, is there kind of an extra presence when you play a team like Sheffield where you know that the fans have an expectation? They want you to give 110 more than maybe 100 against the other teams. This one means more. Does it mean more to you boys in the room?
Yeah, definitely. Playing Sheffield is obviously a big game for the Manchester supporters. And like Joe kind of mentioned right now, we're kind of a bit of a slump. So it's really important for the guys in the room that we need to get out of that. And I think beating Sheffield will be huge for the guys. It obviously means a lot more. Like you can tell the fans are way happier after a win. The boys are way happier after a win against Sheffield. So if we can get a big win against Sheffield, I think that'll start turning the season around. And then Nottingham comes to town, and I think we can take care of them. And it'll be a good start to turn things around here in Manchester.
Maybe so, maybe so. But with Sheffield being the one you've got to get out of the way, first of all, Joe, what have you guys kind of been talking about in the locker room and at training leading up to that one? How can we try and get some points on the board this weekend in Sheffield?
Just again, I know I've said it before, but it's a do or die time of the season, and we need 100% of the people invested in the hockey game. So come to that time, we'll find out Saturday who's ready to play and who's not. And I know there's a lot of guys in the room that are pretty eager to get back onto the ice and I guess we said it before, right the ship of what happened last weekend. So I think that's a little bit of a downside when you come into this league and you're used to playing hockey games every second, every third day. When you lose on a Sunday and you have to sit there until next Saturday, it's just like a burning coal on your feet. Just sucks. So I think everybody in the room's just excited, really excited to get back going, get to go into Sheffield, play in a cool building, play in front of lots of fans, and hopefully make that building pretty quiet.
That would be a nice thing to be able to hear, or maybe not hear, depending on how you see that one. But Reid, you've had your fair share of matchups against Sheffield as well. Just from if you were to help the Storm out before you end up trying to hinder them, how do you guys prepare to play Sheffield? What makes them such a formidable opponent?
I mean, I think they play such a high pace, like north-south game. We always talk about how they have a skilled team, skilled forward group that likes to sort of blow the zone and look to create odd man rushes. So it's just a matter of like keeping people in front of you, getting little bumps, getting little holdups, helping your D man out, and then just sort of utilizing that to your advantage too. That that they're blowing the zone, so create a few turnovers, and you should be able to jump down their throat a little bit.
Well, if we're able to do that, then Gino says we can take the momentum from that 2 points and take 2 points off your guys pretty easily. What do you have to say to
that? Seems a little ambitious, but I guess we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'll leave it at that.
I'm very excited to see what happens now. This Sunday, a packed out Storm shelter, Storm versus Panthers. If you haven't got your tickets yet, be sure to do that. I'm sure it'll be one of the hottest tickets in town when puck comes to drop. But what do we need to do in order to win that game? Just give me one kind of final summative thing. How can we take the maximum amount of points from this weekend, Gino?
I think for us right now, like what's been mentioned a bunch, but just keeping it simple, not turning pucks over and feeding. Like Reid said, Sheffield's a big skilled team, so you can't feed their counterattack. Same with Nottingham. They have a lot of skilled forwards like Reid. So if you give them 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, they're going to be playing street hockey out there, right? Having a lot of fun. So if we can limit that and keep the puck behind their D and their zone, make them play defense, especially in the Storm shelter, I think that'll help us bring home the 4 points that we need.
I look forward to hopefully seeing that. And I look forward to you guys having your first shift against each other out there as well. I'm kind of expecting some hits now that you guys have been having that conversation. It's been a good chat. But I'm going to have probably the fans' favorite bit of the show now, where I kind of stop talking and I hand over to Joe for what has become the Cup of Joe segment. Not sure if you guys have had a chance to listen to the other podcasts where we've kind of gone through that with Austin Farley and Lauren Ullette, as well as Chase Harrison. But yeah, Joe, take this one away, bud.
All right, easy enough. We'll start with the away squad here. It's just the first thing that comes to mind. No good answers, no bad answers. You just kind of got to fire away. So we'll start it here. So if you were a cartoon character, who would you be?
A cartoon character? Ron Stoppable.
All right. What has been your favorite age so far in your life?
Ooh. 18. Being from Canada, I would say 18. 18 was a big one.
Yeah. Good pick. What do you wish you learned sooner?
What do I wish I learned sooner? Jeez, that's a hard one. Probably a lot.
Deep question, Joe, man. Where'd
We're getting really deep. Started off cartoon character, and now you're asking what I wish I knew sooner.
You need it.
Jeez. I don't know. I might have to defer that one.
All right, we'll pass. All right, best concert you've attended?
50 Cent last year.
Ooh,
sick.
Nice.
Sick.
Which teammate's life would make the best reality TV show on your team, on Nottingham, for the Panthers fans there?
There could be a couple.
We can go a couple.
Logan Nielsen would be pretty funny. What else would there be? Lucas Sheldon actually would be pretty funny too. Little backup goalie action. Never has to play. Just comes and is the greatest locker room guy. Be fun to follow.
The old Blue Mountain State backup QB.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, man.
All right. Would you rather be rich or healthy?
Healthy.
Invisibility or super strength?
Super strength.
Scuba diving or skydiving?
Skydiving.
Texting or calling?
Calling.
All right. And give me 3 things that a person needs to be happy.
Health, good friends and family around, and this could get deep, but time.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, all right.
All right. That was good. I like those answers. All right, Gino, you ready? Maybe we'll go backwards to confuse it, or we'll just go random here. So we'll start off with the best concert you've attended.
Eric Church.
Nice. The infamous question: what do you wish you learned sooner?
Not to sweat the small stuff. Everything kind of passes in time. Just it's bad or good. Just keep moving on. You'll learn from it.
Perfect. If you were a cartoon character, who would you be?
I'll go Kim Possible. I'll be Reid's boss.
I thought you were gonna do the rodent.
Luigi, Mario and Luigi, the boys.
That was too easy.
Which teammate's life do you think would make the best reality TV show?
I would say you, Joe. I'd love to have a camera follow you around for a couple of weeks.
That's fair. That's an R-rated TV series right there.
Yeah, that might be an HBO series.
Would you rather be rich or healthy?
Healthy.
Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility.
Ooh, scuba diving or skydiving?
Skydiving. The ocean's pretty scary.
That's solid. We got an extra one here. What creeps you out?
Spiders creep me out. They've always given me the act.
That's fair. If you could speak any language fluently, what would it be?
Italian.
Fair. And we'll go give me 3 things a person needs to be happy.
Family, friends, healthy, and glass half full mindset.
There you go. All right, that's good stuff. I mean, now you got both sides of the spectrum there. Well, the boys get some great answers there.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, awesome. We got some content ideas out of that as well. A TV series following Joe around. I'm sure we'll be putting that in the works sometime soon.
He's an international man of mystery, I think.
I would be in jail so fast. That's a terrible idea.
You guys want to make a little extra money? There you go.
Yeah.
Easy idea. Well, look,
make a TikTok about Joe.
Make a TikTok about Joe?
Yeah, follow him around.
Oh, it's a terrible idea. I don't need that in my life. We'll keep the mystery a mystery for now.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for giving us your time. I'm sure the fans will really appreciate it. First of all, thank you to you, Reid, and thank you to the Panthers fans as well, especially for checking this one out. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed being on it, Reid. I hope you've had a good time. I know I have.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Appreciate having me on, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully we do. I wish you the best of luck for every single game the rest of the year, apart from the ones against us. And for Gino, thank you so much for coming on for your first time. I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, I had a great time. It was fun, Matt. Thanks for having me. And Reid, thanks for joining us too.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Thank you so much for paying attention, giving us your time, and giving us your ears, because we really appreciate it. For now, though, I've been Matty Finnegan. This has been The Storm Report, episode 11. Thank you so much. Take care. And most importantly, see you on Sunday. Goodbye.
That was The Storm Report, brought to you by Storm TV. Tune in next week for more exclusive insights. Tickets on sale now at manchesterstorm.com.